Can a robotic fishing lure catch a fish through the ice? We are about to find out. So, bought this off Amazon. Looks pretty simple for the most part. Just got to charge her up and then get out to the ice and see if we can't get it done. I've always been interested to see if this is possible, and I assume that it is, but we'll have to see how long it takes. Got her all hooked up. You probably can't see that, but there is a faint red light on the inside that lets you know kind of when charging's done. It says it takes about 4 hours. We'll see. It says that the working time of it's like an hour and a half, and obviously deteriorates depending on how cold it is outside. So obviously we're ice fishing, so we'll see if it lasts nearly that long. But get her all charged up, and then we'll get out to the lake and see what happens. Definitely one of the more interesting weathers I've ever fished before. It's incredibly foggy, raining, 39 degrees, and we're out using the robotic fishing lure. So we're gonna get her all tied up. We do have a leader on here because in case we do end up catching a fish, I don't want the first one that we potentially get to bite to end up being the end of the lure. So we will see what happens. I don't have such high hopes, but I guess you never know. I assume that we'll catch one on it at some point in time, but it's just a matter of how long do we have to try. So we'll throw it on the end here. Hopefully it swims. I don't even know if that'll happen, to be honest, but all right, looks legitimate so far. And in theory, as soon as it touches both connection points with water, it should start to swim. Oh, and there it goes. It kind of swims kind of fast. Probably a good thing that I did put a leader on there too, so it looks like it's going to do a whole lot of circles, so end up with a lot less line twist. Well, that's wild, but let's see if we can't catch a fish on it. I wonder if it's going to swim too aggressively for it to potentially end up setting off the flag by itself, but I guess we'll see. How deep are we? That looks about right. I'm going to be so wildly excited if we end up catching a fish on that. But it's the first one. We will set up a couple other tip-ups just with some dead bait and hope we end up catching some pike at some point in time. We got a tip-up. It's not on the one we were hoping for. It's on the automatic. Oh, it's spinning. It's on the automatic lure, just on some dead bait. So is it still going? Give it a second. I might have dropped it. I'm not a huge fan of using bells in shallow water just because I feel like obviously when the fish takes that bait, I don't know if it can hear it. I don't really know, but I can't imagine that it helps very much. So I feel like I have noticed that more often than without them, they kind of drop it. But when it gets this dark, unless you have the lights that go on the tip-ups, there's not much else you can do. In deep water, it doesn't really seem to matter all that much. But, well, looks like we had our first bite. We'll go ahead and check her out, see if it's still there by some chance. Kind of doubt it, but usually if it would have just been readjusting. Oh, it's still moving. Oh, it's still there. Okay. It's a little surprising. I thought they would have. Still going. I don't know if I came back to pick it up or what. It's not going anywhere with it right now. Oh, let's see. Is there anything there? No. Nope. Did it take our bait? Oh, it took our bait. Well, that's not good. Have to get another minnow. Well, it's not frayed at all. So, who knows what it was, but we'll get another minnow and set up and see if we can't still catch one. Well, we did not end up with a bite on our automatic fish, but let's see if it's still spinning, or at least swimming, I guess. We did have it down there for, I think it was like almost 2 hours, so it shouldn't last that long, but if it does, that's great. Does not feel like it's moving. No, I don't think so. Definitely not. Nope. So, definitely doesn't last 2 hours, but it's not supposed to, so we'll go get it charged up and use it another day, see if we can get lucky. I assume it'll work at some point in time. It's just how long until it takes to do that. And if this is something that's like an actual viable option if you're not able to get live bait, or if you're on lakes that don't allow live bait. But we'll try again another day. Welcome back, everybody. So today we are trying out the Robotic Swimming Lure. We tried it a couple of times during ice fishing season underneath tip-ups and did not get a bite. I assume for the most part, just because the water was so cold, that there wasn't a ton of longevity in the battery. But we are out here in at least the start of spring, hoping to see if we can't do anything a little bit better. It actually swims surprisingly well from what we saw, just dropping it down the hole during ice fishing season, but we haven't caught a fish on it, so we'll have to see what happens. We'll get her tied up. We'll put it on a leader just in case. I assume the first fish that we get is likely going to be a pike, so don't want to lose the bait immediately. So we'll chuck her out on a bobber and see what happens. Welcome back, everybody. So we've had some pretty decent luck with pike in these couple spots lately. So we're going to go ahead and try the Robotic Fishing Lure again and see if we can't finally hook up with pike. We weren't able to do it through ice fishing, and the couple of times that we went out after ice fishing in spring and whatnot, never had a bite. So today, hopefully, is our lucky day. Let's go ahead and get it out there. We'll just toss it right next to the spillway here, and it should start swimming. There it goes. Perfect. Now we just sit and wait for a pike. This is like the third or fourth time I've had to try and clean this little propeller off of weeds and muck and whatnot. Oh, not very easy to do, but got some pliers. But there we go, and she's spinning. We have still not have a bite on it, but it's still working, so that's good at least. Well, that's about it for today. That's the 5th trip I think we've taken out with the Robotic Swimming Lure, and still have not had a bite on it, despite catching fish on other lures during that time. So we'll take it out one more time before we finally call it a dud, but we'll have to try one more time, and maybe we'll come out here with some live bait or and fish lures, and then see how many fish we actually catch between all of the different techniques, and if this has a bite yet again. So well, till next time, I guess. Welcome back, everybody. So today's the last day we are going to try this robotic swimming lure. We've gone out a number of times, ice fishing, spring, summer now, and we have never had a bite, as far as I'm aware, on this thing. So we're going to go ahead and try one last time. We're at our pike spot that always has fish, and we'll try it today. If it doesn't work today, I think we can pretty well assume it's not a great bait. We're also going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a head start, but I'm going to go ahead and tie on some live bait also and see if we can't catch one on live bait, and I guess, you know, further that determination that this is not as good as live bait. So we're going to go ahead and drop it out there, and while we're waiting for a fish to bite, if one does, we'll go ahead and catch some live bait and then rig up a rod and throw that out. So this should have a solid 20-30 minute head start to see if there's, you know, anything in the area. But let's go ahead and give her a try. We'll go ahead and make sure it's still swimming. We got her all charged last night, but you never know. Definitely swimming, so that's a good start. We'll go ahead and there we go. Let her swim around and try and catch some live bait real quick and rig that up. Oh, got a bite already, and we have bait acquired. It's like a perfect size one too. We still have our robotic swimming lure out there swimming, but not catching anything. So we'll go, oh, there's a fish that jumped. We'll go ahead and throw this little gill on a hook and see if we can't catch one. That didn't take long at all. There he is. Get him. What are you? Pike or bass? Oh, might be a bass. Pike. Shoot. I was kind of dogging down like I thought it was gonna be a bass, but obviously not. Get him unhooked real quick. There we go. About 10 minutes out with live bait, and we've got a fish, and out there somewhere is our robotic swimming lure that's still swimming, not catching anything. But we'll go ahead and let him go real quick. To be honest, I think that the swimming lure might actually scare fish, because there have been a couple of times where I've come out here and caught fish on other lures, thrown that out there, and then just nothing. And even throwing out live bait after it, I think, like, you still don't catch anything. So I don't even know that it's like just not overly useful. It might actually deter fish. But well, that's about it for today. I can't recommend this bait. I don't know how many hours we fished it over the past few months, probably close to 10 to 15, probably even more, and never had a bite on it, never caught a fish. Yeah, and again, I've caught fish in the same spots at the same time with other baits, with live bait, with every other kind of bait, except this. So I definitely can't recommend it. Not to say that it wouldn't work at some point in time, or if a fish was just hungry enough, I'm sure it would probably catch a fish or two. But for as much as it costs, I think it would just be easier to buy live bait or catch your own. I think this was something around $25–30, something like that, and you can get some very, very nice other swim baits, plastics. I mean, you could buy just about any kind of, like, you could buy a Megabass Vision 110. You can buy so many better baits for that amount of money. But so can't recommend it, but if it's something interesting to you, by all means go ahead and try it out. If you guys have a ton of luck with it, or have caught a bunch of fish on it before, by all means drop that in the comment section below. I'd like to hear about it and whatnot. Maybe it was just happenstance or chance that it just never went well for this bait. But nevertheless, if you guys like the video, if you wouldn't mind liking, and as always, if you want to see more videos like it, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be greatly appreciated also. Till next one.